It's like Christmas morning, according to Stockjack. You're getting PDubs early. That's right. We're going live about 7 minutes earlier than we usually do. Reason why is I might finish 7 minutes earlier. Every minute counts. I'm under the gun. I got a lot of stuff going on that I got to get done, which we'll talk about here tonight. Welcome, guys. Thanks for tuning in to the broadcast. I'm your host, PDubs, and this is Multicade Mondays. That's right. We're going to talk a little bit about pinball tonight. We're going to be talking about real and virtual pinball. So no panic buttons there, please. As well as we're going to talk a little bit about some arcade stuff, things that are going on. I also like using this forum to also let you guys know where I'm at with some current projects, get you guys interested in videos to come and content to come. We got a lot of good stuff lined up. I've released a couple of videos over the last couple days, but they're all like not big, like hot ticket items. Like there's a really cool Nintendo Switch docking station that I just did a video on from that company called Unitech. I've gotten a couple of their multi-game card readers, those are kind of cool because you can you mount those on top of your Nintendo Switch, and it's got a cable that feeds into your Switch. And then, you could run more than one card without taking cartridges in and out of the system, which is pretty cool. Well, they've done multiple card readers with and without remote controls, and then they just came out with a full-blown docking station with the card reader capability. I just put that video out, I think, yesterday. Nobody really watched it, but then again, I wasn't expecting a lot of views. That's another thing to remember, too. Advice I can give to other YouTubers out there, because more and more people keep hopping on these social media platforms, is even if like, this is not going to be a video that's going to do well, if you're still passionate about it and excited about it, do the video anyway, man. Just throw it out there. Who cares if it gets 300, 500 views? And also just be proud of it. Don't, once it dies out at like 500 views, don't go buy 10,000 views to pretend people watched it. Just be proud of the work that you did accomplish. Hey, I made something that 500 people potentially thought was interesting. So check that video out. I got a lot of video game reviews. So what's interesting is I did a review video for Cash Cow DX from Pixel Games. Not really a review video. I did a live stream. I haven't actually done the review yet, but I did a live stream. I played the game last week. That was a lot of fun. They are the guys who made Donut Dodo. And what's funny about that is turn around, and since then, every single day, it's happened once a day, I've had multiple indie studios reach out to me. They're like, hey, we saw the coverage you did for Pixel Games, as well as we've checked out your channel. Would love to send you some early advance codes for some games. And if you could either review them or just play them early, like I did Cash Cow DX. I didn't get to the review. and show people about that. That'd be really cool. And, sometimes I worry about indie games. I wonder, like, if it's really indie, are people even going to care? Do they even want to see it? So I put a vote on my YouTube channel. We have that community thread, the community posts that we can put up. And I said, hey, man, do you guys want to see content about some of these indie retro games? These are retro inspired games that are just coming out. And overwhelmingly, people said yes, they want that content, as well as they wanted. A lot of these indie devs have great stories to tell about the creation of their games and stuff. And let's be honest, it's a little easier to get them on the show versus like trying to get somebody from Capcom or Ubisoft or somebody on the show, right? Because I'm a nobody, I'm a peon. You think those companies would respond to me? Yeah, you want to come on my show? So anyway, so yeah, so people said that they would want to see those interviews and hear those discussions too, find out the story behind the games. So look forward to that content coming in the future. Love me some Indiana Jones games. There you go. So yeah, expect some more of that. Let me give you a heads up on just a couple. So where is my store? And let me try. How do you go back to where you see like your recent games played? I'm going to show you guys a couple of the games that we'll be covering first. I think I. All right. So we have. That's not the one. Sorry, guys. I clicked on the wrong thing. So there's a game coming out called Lords of Exile, which we'll be covering on the channel, as well as. I thought I had it set up here, but I didn't for you guys. So there's another cool one here. My apologies. That's so embarrassing. There's another one here that, let me grab it here. It's from Kaleidoscope Games. It's a game called Slam and Roll. So let's take a look at Slam and Roll together. So Slam and Roll is another indie game. Now, what's interesting about this game, and this game is on Steam. You can wish list it now. Let me share my screen. How many of you guys like games like Snow Bros and Bubble Bobble? Games like that, right? So this should probably ring some bells when you see how it's set up. So they sent me this game early. In fact, the guys told me I'm the only person who has an advanced code for this game. I'm the only person who has it. So if you like Snow Bros and games like that, Bubble Bobble, that kind of platforming type arcade game, this Slam and Roll, you can put it on your wish list on Steam. I'm going to have some coverage for this very, very soon, as well as I might have the guys on the channel to talk about this game as well. So hopefully you guys will be interested in this. Let me know your feedback in the live chat on what you're seeing on the screen right now. Does this look somewhat interesting to you? I myself like Snow Bros a lot. I think Snow Bros is an underrated arcade game. So when I saw this, I was like, yeah, I'm definitely interested in checking this out. So you guys got to let me know in the live chat what you're thinking. Let's get that one off of there, and let's find the other one. Where is our other one? Quentin thinks it looks cool. Thanks so much for the feedback. Alfred's here as well. Don't worry, we'll say hi to the live chat as well. We're just kind of moseying through. So let me grab it, Lord. And I thought I had all this set up. I set up apparently only half the show, or maybe I didn't. I don't know. You got another game coming out here called Lords of Exile. So this is another retro-inspired indie game. And let's pull this up here. This kind of reminds me of Black Tiger, Castlevania, all those kind of games. This one's all from Pixel Heart. Let's take a peek right here. We're just going to play this. So we have this game as well. I think this game might have already released on a console or two. But we're going to be covering this game as well as we're probably going to hopefully get these guys on the channel as well. So have a discussion. So I'm excited about that. It's fun to talk. I think it might be fun to talk about some indie games. We'll do like these indie spotlights. And you guys will have to let me know the feedback if you guys want to see this kind of coverage on these kind of games. If you guys aren't interested, we could always pull the plug. You know what I mean? Pull the plug. No skin off my bones, right? Just trying to make sure you guys are getting fun, entertaining, and interesting content. Fun, entertaining, and interesting content. So taking a peek here, guys, let's get all of our housekeeping items out of the way first. Just as a reminder, before I say hi to the live chat, all this month, it started on the 1st. All this month, you could save 10% at Escape Pod Online. You need to buy some artwork for an arcade one-up modding project, something like that. Or if you have a real arcade that needs arcade replacement, because Dan over at Escape Pod Online does artwork for real arcades as well as arcade one-ups. Make sure you guys check out his website, Escape Pod Online. Use coupon code PDubs at checkout, and you'll save 10% off your entire store purchase. So it's not limited, your entire store purchase. Big shout out to Dan for setting that up for viewers of the channel for the entire month. Guys, you only got 23 days left. Dan told me he's got so many orders coming in, he might pull the code because you guys are costing him too much money. He might pull the code early. You might want to get your orders in. No, I'm just kidding. He didn't say that, but still, wouldn't that be cool if that was true? Wouldn't that be cool? Yeah, Escape Pod Online does have some great kits. 19K Fox is here for Street Fighter 2 Deluxe Cab. So, by the way, what's interesting is how many of you have made a friend in this community, whether it's, whether you're a YouTuber who's become friends with another YouTuber, or whether you're like a viewer and you found out another viewer lives near you and you got to talk and you hit it off, you became friends. How many of you have done that? Let me know in the live chat. How many of you have done that? I'm sure some of you have, right? Like some of you have made a friend from this hobby. Am I wrong? Or no friends? You guys got to let me know in the live chat. You guys are, I have made friends through this community. And have you actually talked to them, met them in person, or at least talked to them away from like a YouTube live stream chat? So what's interesting is one thing that I noticed is 19K Fox and I, we talk a lot. We talk a lot because we're friends, but it was just all like messages back and forth. You know how sometimes they say just pick up the phone and talk to somebody. So what's nice about modern technology is you can FaceTime somebody, right? So I FaceTime 19K Fox. Him and I haven't FaceTime together, just us two, maybe close to a year, and we're friends. And he's like, what's up, man? Like, he's all worried when I called him and he saw my face. And we ended up talking for like an hour, just talking about everything. We had a great time. So, sometimes guys, don't forget that more human connection, right? Like versus text messaging. You know what I mean? So I have an imaginary friend I made through this community. There you go, James. You're too funny, man. You're too funny. Thanks so much, Fox, for calling me a great dude. I greatly appreciate it. I would agree with that sentiment. No, I have my moments where I have been a dick, and I have been a dick to people in this community and people who I feel have either used me or to elevate themselves or things like that. And what's interesting, though, is there's nobody who's innocent in this community, and there's a lot of stuff going around right now, and there's nobody who's innocent. Everybody has done something to somebody, and myself included. But what's interesting is you have to remember that we're adults, we're in our 40s, and not the big beefs. I mean, there's some big stuff going on that it could probably never be quelled with any kind of moderated conversation. You know what I mean? But when it comes to the small stuff, like my DMs are open. Like I only have you blocked if like you've done something horrible to me. You know what I mean? Like, or something that I found like really invasive. But there are a lot of people who they get mad at me over something I said or something they heard I said or something they think I did, but someone else told them I did, because let's be honest, there's a lot of gossipers out there who make stuff up. And then when those people call me, every single time we've gotten off that phone call, we've been cool. We've been cool. Because that's what adults do, right? I'm like, no, man, what are you talking about? Oh, yeah. Oh, well, I do have this problem with you. Oh, you have that problem with me? Appreciate you bringing that to my attention. Let's figure out a solution. I am that kind of person. So I urge anybody, if you got a beef with me, like, just reach out to me. My DMs are open. You don't have to make a YouTube video. Just reach out to me and we can talk about it. You know what I mean? It seems like a lot of people leap to that YouTube stuff first. Like, and that shows you more like what their intentions are, right? And no, I don't mean Jade. I'm talking about some other people. Like that's their goal, right? And that just shows you that you're being used. And it's kind of sad to see, right? It's kind of sad to see. Like, we're supposed to be adults. I've been immature. I've made mistakes. We tell a lot of R-rated potty humor on my channel on Super Game Room Dudes. We do all that stuff, guys. So we're not innocent. We've been dicks, but you know, you gotta move on. You gotta move forward. And let's get off the soapbox with a couple of sentiments. Number one, there's a couple phrases I'd like people to remember. Number one is we are all stronger together. So versus divided. So when I see so many people fractured, it kind of stinks. I myself, if anyone has noticed over the last year, I have really isolated myself. Like I've pretty much been like, everyone's got so much stuff going on that I don't want to deal with. I'm only going to talk to like a handful of people, right? So I isolate myself. I fracture myself from others, right? Become maybe less approachable. Um, so we're stronger together than we are divided. So my opinions are, let's find ways to, close those fractures and everybody have fun, man. This is a great community. This is an awesome community. A lot of people say this is a terrible community. It's a drama community. It's a toxic community. This is a great community. There are so many awesome, amazing, incredible people I've met through this platform, whether it was a viewer or whether it was another content creator that, like minds, man, like minds can accomplish great things. And also remember this too, that a rising tide raises all ships. So that's another one that I usually try to remember is when if someone out there is doing well and you're not, I wouldn't view that as like a threat or them gatekeeping or things like that. Like anyone who a rising tide raises all ships. Let me give you an example. My arcade went up, a couple of my arcade went up Marvel countercade videos. They were out there, like the hack videos and stuff, and then they died. And then what happened? What happened recently? A larger channel named Mad Little Pixel started making a lot of coverage about arcade one-up countercades. That's a rising tide. And even though his videos got 100,000 views in a couple of days due to the size of his channel, compared to my channel where it takes a year to get to that amount, because his videos are there and they did so well, it's a rising tide. All of a sudden, my videos are now in the algorithm, and those people who watched his videos went and watched my video. They liked his review of the Marvel Countercade, then they went to my video to learn how to hack it. And I got a lot of views and subscribers. Like those videos all were sitting there dead. And then all of a sudden, in the months of November and December, each of those videos got like 10,000 views a month. And that helped grow my channel. So you have to remember that when we all do well, or even if one individual does well in this community, what'll happen is it'll raise everybody else. So feelings of jealousy or stuff like that, or feeling insecure, is not going to help solve any problems. If someone's doing well, what we should do is congratulate them, support them, and be happy for them, because in some way or the other, it's going to impact you positively when it comes to the great almighty YouTube robots. So hopefully that helps. And yeah, there's going to be anchors. There's going to be anchors. There's a few anchors who I've had to block several anchors in the last couple of weeks. And I don't want to get into any more of that drama stuff, but these are people who, in my opinion, causing trouble and making the experience bad for the audience that I'm trying to host. And that is unacceptable. So for me, and it is what it is. So there you go. All right, guys, let's say hi to who's here in the live chat. I want to talk to you guys about a couple things I got in the hopper. I want to talk to you. I got my AtGames Legends Pinball 4K. I built it late last night. I got to play it for about 30, 45 minutes. Guys, it was midnight. I'm going to give you a couple first impressions. talking about that. I got a couple pictures to show. We're going to talk a little bit about some other stuff. So let's get this done. Before we do, let's say hi to who's here in the live chat. If you're here, let me know. Chaotic's here. Chaotic is here. Skynet's here. Jaster's here. JJ is here as well. Jaster Marvel's here. Molar Medic is here as well. Goofyfoot is here. Andy's Game Room. I'm just like kind of like skipping around. Stock Jock is here as well. Scott Parisi's here. Skynet's here. Meatball Saucy's here. You know, Meatball Saucy's a guy who, him and I had some beefs. Like he was mad at me or I was mad at him. And what do you know? We hashed it out. And I love seeing him back in the live chats. And I love knowing now that because he's a VPin expert, if I have a question about virtual pinball, I could probably hit him up and he'll probably help me out. Make sure you check out his channel for like VPin and virtual stuff. Michael B's here as well. Michael B's got a show going on after this. JT says, can't we love and just get back to the games? There you go. Well said, PDubs. Well, thanks so much. Thanks so much. I didn't want to get into too much of a soapbox. You know, I'm sure there's people who I've pissed off, but there's a lot of people who pissed me off too. So, you know, we just got to move forward. We got to move forward. Oh, DannyZ's here, but he's at Raw. Dude, go watch Raw. You can catch me on replay, man. You spent money on that ticket. Go enjoy that show. Go enjoy that show. CGM is here. Pliskin Run and Carl. Oh, what's up, Carl? What's up, Carl? All right. Fight with mods, not people. There you go. We should put that on a t-shirt. Yes, Rob. Yes, Rob. I'm getting there. I'm getting there, my friend. I'm getting there. All right. So I'm very excited that I received my GRS Sinden shotgun. How many of you guys are interested in Glenn's Retro Show's GRS light gun, Sinden light gun that looks more like a shotgun? Let me know in the live chat. How many of you have pre-ordered or you're waiting to hear reviews and stuff? It is probably one of his more expensive products. He's done a lot of products. This one's a little bit more on the higher side. I think it's, a few, close to a few $100. But then again, a lot of good quality light guns are Gun 4 IR, few $100. A Sinden light gun is going to cost you a couple $100. Even if you go on the cheaper end and get like the retro shooter kit, although you get the guns with the console, how much are you spending, guys? A couple $100, right? So, so this one's obviously going to be around that same price range, right? So Glenn sent it to me for the purpose of making a review video. I did receive it last week on Wednesday. I finally assembled it and put it together today during my lunch break, but I haven't had a chance to test it out. All I can tell you is what I do remember when I played this thing at the Cleveland Gaming Classic is I absolutely loved it. It actually felt like a real arcade gun, if that makes sense. You know how if you go to the arcades and there's like an old light gun game and the light gun is made out of like metal versus plastic and it's heavy and it feels like you could slam it on the ground and it'll still work. You know what I mean? Like that's how good a quality this thing felt. You know what I mean? I think it's literally made out of wood and metal. So, but yeah, excited to check this out. We're going to show you a couple things, just to give you a heads up on the content I have planned for it. Number one, it's plug and play with Arcade 1-Up's Buck Hunter. I don't own a Buck Hunter. How many of you guys remember my buddy Vern, who I met through this platform, another friend who lives a couple blocks away? He's got Arcade 1-Up Buck Hunter. So I'm going to swing by his house. We're going to record some footage and test this light gun on the Buck Hunter because it's supposed to be plug and play. And then when I get back to my house, we're going to hook it up with a PC and show like the Retro Lizard Sinden light gun build, it running with that. And then I might also do Raspberry Pi, although you guys know I've just not been a big fan of Raspberry Pis lately. It's like I'm just so bored of Raspberry Pis. It just seems so 3 years ago to me, you know what I mean? But if I can fit it in and if I have the tolerance for it, I'll do some Raspberry Pi showing off. But yeah, there you go. Yeah, it should be plug and play with the Retro Lizard builds. So, which I'll show you guys as well. And I did a review for his Retro Shooter Sinden PC build. So we're going to plug it in that. We're going to show some footage of that running on like a TV, running on an arcade machine, stuff like that. So I'm excited. Hopefully you guys will be excited as well to see that video, those videos when it comes out. Thanks so much, Meatball, for looking for it. Thor KC, GRS, real arcade quality, home arcade pricing. There you go. Yeah, yeah. I mean, once you hold it, you're like, holy cow. Holy cow. All right. So that's what's going on with that. Okay. A couple of pinball things. So one quick pinball thing. I don't know if you guys noticed or not, but Atari, how many of you guys remember Atari Balls of Steel? Do you guys remember Atari Balls of Steel? Let me know in the live chat. Atari Balls of Steel was their own little pinball game, right? So Atari just released a new version of Atari Balls of Steel. It's on Steam now, and my apologies, guys. I did not put the link in the live chat, but if you go to Steam, it's on Steam now. It just released a couple days ago, and it's only $8, and you get 8 tables, so it's only $1 a table. But Atari Balls of Steel just came out. All the original games are there. Like all the tables have returned that were there before, but they've added 2 new tables. They've added Missile Command. There's a Missile Command table, and there's a Centipede table. I actually gave that a test run for about 5 minutes before the show. Don't expect it to be like Zen Studios quality pinball, but it was still fun to me to play because I did test the Missile Command. So I don't know if any of the moderators could throw that link in the live chat. If you can go to the Steam store and put in Balls of Steel, you'll find it, and you'll be able to check this out. Yeah, no tape mode that I saw. But then again, if you're playing on the PC or the television, it could be fun to check those games out. I gave it a quick test run, and I played Missile Command. It's the only one I played, and I enjoyed it. I literally 5 minutes before the show. So if you're friends with me on Steam, you'll see it says PDubs played Balls of Steel for 5 minutes. So what I'll do is I'll put out a video for that as well. Also, I got a big video coming out for Pinball M. It's a video I've been working hard on for a long time that I'm finally almost done editing, that hopefully I can get released. I actually put a lot of effort into this one. So if you like virtual pinball, look forward to those videos on Pinball M as well as Balls of Steel. So yeah, I'm gonna do those. I'm hoping by the end of the week. I got a couple. Like I said in the beginning, I'm under the gun for some stuff. So let's take a look here. So, for instance, let's find it. So if you guys like real pinball, this Wednesday, so a couple days from now, I'll be back live again. And I have an interview with Barrels of Fun. Barrels of Fun is coming on the channel. We got the CEO, David Van Ness, who used to work for Spooky Pinball, and then he left there and started his own company, Barrels of Fun, as well as the lead designers of the table, are all going to be on the show. And we're going to be talking about Labyrinth Pinball. And I got some great questions I wrote down. This isn't a sponsored interview. It's more like I reached out to them, said, dude, I love your pinball machine. Can you come on my channel and tell the story? So the story about the difficulties and challenges of licensing with the Jim Henson Corporation or the Jim Henson family, securing the David Bowie license for the music and the songs and his likeness, as well as the making of the machine, the designing of the machine, how difficult it is to start up a pinball company, because this is a brand new company and this is their first machine, whereas Stern's been around for a very long time, right? In my opinion, as cool as it would be to have like Stern on the channel, I think that this story, this starter upper story, would be really interesting to hear. So even if you don't like, I don't like real pinball, I hope you guys still check it out to, maybe learn a little bit more about the behind the scenes. I'm very excited to have them on Wednesday. It's the only day and time they were available. So I know there are so many people in this space who stream, and people get really territorial about their streams. Me, I've always been the dick who I'm like, if I want to go live right now, I'm going to go live right now. I don't care who's live. That's just the way I am, because, we're not a cable network, guys. Like, you go live, people can watch replays, even of me. But so if anyone's live Wednesday at that time, usually, and my apologies, but that's the time they had available. So that's the time we're going to do it. So, and I wanted to do it live versus pre-recorded. So I think it would be a great experience. You guys will be able to ask questions. And hopefully we can get them to leak out what the next pinball machine is going to be. What the next pinball machine is going to be, because they have several in development apparently. So I'm very excited about it. Very excited about it. Evil Genius is here. What's up, Evil Genius? Good to see you, man. Make sure you guys check him out on YouTube. He's been popping off a lot of videos lately on his channel. Good to see. Jason says he's looking forward to that interview. Are you guys going to tune in? If you guys are going to tune in for that, do me a favor, give me a 1 in the live chat. If you're not interested at all, you don't have to say anything. I would love for them to do Dark Crystal. If they did Crawl, like if they just did fantasy movie theme pins, they might become my favorite pinball company of all time. You know what I mean? If they don't, if they decide to do other IPs that aren't like fantasy related, because think about it, with the Jim Henson, you're kind of limited to Labyrinth, maybe a Fraggle Rock table, Muppets. Yeah, keep in mind, Sesame Street was originally done by Henson. So there's a possibility there you get some Sesame Street people and the Dark Crystal. So how much can you get out of that license? We don't know. Why? We'll ask them. But if they went other fantasy movies like Princess Bride, which we talked about on Super Game Room Dude, sounds like that's going to be a disaster if that's a multimorphic table. Princess Bride, all that stuff. So I think that would be the winner right there. Like I love Dark Crystal so hard. Like I think that would be great. Oh yeah, dinosaurs. There you go. Never Ending Story. I mean, who wouldn't want to see like Falcor on a pinball machine? Like that would be awesome, right? So that'll be really, really fun. So, and again, the reason why I'm under the gun is, and I'm going to pull up some footage here real quick from Straight Down the Middle, if you guys are familiar with them. One of the most popular pinball channels out there. This is some footage of him playing Labyrinth Pinball, just so you guys have a little backdrop here. So the reason I'm under the gun is, as you guys know, I haven't done like a pinball pickup video for Labyrinth or done like a review for it. So I'd like to get that done before they come on the show Wednesday evening. So I'm hoping by like Tuesday night or Wednesday morning, I actually put out the video of the pinball machine. And that way I can have them on during the show. So, but long story short, I love it. I think it's incredible. My wife loves it. My son loves it. And we've been having a really good time checking it out, man. Checking it out. I swear I've seen a Matrix pinball machine. I swear I've seen that. Ooh, Legend. Yeah, with Tom Cruise and Mia Sara. Woo, that would be great. You don't like that camera angle? That's actually a pretty decent camera angle that he came up with for that game. But a lot of the footage I shot was from the top down. So it's just a mess. It's just a mess. But I'll try to get all that done for you guys. So that'll be really, really cool. All right. So let's talk a little bit about the AtGames Legends Pinball. How many of you people have received your AtGames Legends Pinball 4KP? And are you happy with it or stuff like that? Let me grab my pictures here. Let me know in the live chat. Thought someone said JJP is doing Jersey Jack Pinball doing Matrix? Not that I know of. Not that I know of. Quentin loves the ALP 4K. How's the performance on it, Quentin? How's the performance? Somebody remade a Johnny Mnemonic. Got mine, still waiting. Love it. How does it play compared to your high definition pinball machine? Let me know in the live chat. Yep, Labyrinth has a mini PC inside of it. That is absolutely correct. I'm happy to get it with the surround sound kit. Oh, you're going to have them install it for you. Yeah. So little lag on Adam's Family. Okay, but there's issues with all the tables, which I'll dive into when I actually post a review, but we'll see if they fix it before my review even gets posted. So taking a peek here, I took some photos, so we have some backdrop here. I just want to give you my first impressions. Okay, I'm not ready to do a review yet because it just arrived yesterday and I had to do all kinds of other stuff. I assembled the machine at 11 o'clock last night, and sure enough, I was done assembling it by 11:30, so it only took me 30 minutes. So very easy assembly, especially if you've assembled a virtual pinball machine before in the past. Overall, taking a look at the size, this is the size of it compared to a real pinball machine. That's obviously my Labyrinth right there. What do you notice about the screen? So the quality of the screen on AtGames is actually a little bit better than the one on the Labyrinth. Isn't that kind of funny? Like I know that's supposed to be a white shot, but a lot of the camera footage I've taken of that particular screen, the back glass screen on Labyrinth, has been a little washed out. So I actually think it's the LCD screen they have in there because I've tried different cameras, different camera settings, and still it doesn't look as good as it does. Like with Venom, I could just point my camera at the stern LCD screen and it looks clear on video, right? So, but anyway, the quality of the screens looks really nice on the AtGames, and when I look at the size of the machine overall, I was very impressed with it. I was very impressed with it. So it's much larger than the original high definition pinball machine. And keep in mind, this stuff is all thrown around my house. This is not the final location of anything in my house. We're flip flopping rooms, and I'm painting and remodeling. And as you guys know, we had that whole story. So this isn't the final location of these machines by these windows. This is just where they're parked right now. Um, I forgot what I was saying. So assembly was great. When I first turned it on, the quality of the screens looked really, really good. The marquee, honestly, is kind of weird to me because we got this, like, I don't know what this is. Maybe this is like where the snaps are, like where this thing like snaps together, but you got like these little black splooges on it. When it's on its brightest setting like this, it's a little washy out, but it's not the end of the world. When it's on the medium setting, it looks really, really good. The screens and all that look fine. The DMD, as you can see here, in my opinion, is a big disappointment in size. It's just so tiny. Like on the other machine where you actually would have, you know, like the Zakaria back glass here and the Zakaria DMD here. That DMD being moved down here, it looks a little small. And of course, Zen Studios did the same thing they did here that they did with Arcade One Up, where they gave us the DMD, but it's super tiny, and you wish they would optimize these to fill up the entire screen. Because when I play Pinball FX3 on my other pinball machine back there, I have the settings set where the DMDs for Pinball FX games fit the entire DMD. There's no blank space. It's not so small and tiny. So I'd like to see that changed in the future. I'd like them to go all out and make the DMDs a bit better, but at least it works. And obviously, when it comes to the DMDs for all the other games, it fits the whole screen, right? It fits the whole screen. What I can tell you is when it comes to comparing the height of the machine to a real pinball machine, it's pretty much the same height. As you can see, our buttons are pretty much the same height. So whether I'm standing in front of Labyrinth or Adam's Family, the original pinball machine was lower. It was lower to the ground. So it kind of hurt the back a little bit to bend over, right? It kind of hurt the back a little bit to bend over. I'm not having that experience. It's super comfortable to stand in front of the AtGames machine and play because it's a taller machine overall. Let's see here. The artwork. So what's interesting, I don't know if I got a good side shot here without. No, I don't have a good side shot without the pinball machine in. All right, I'm going to tell you this much. So obviously they couldn't get us the actual artwork, the official artwork from the original pinball machine. That didn't happen, right? This custom artwork, this camera shot doesn't do it justice. This custom artwork, in my opinion, looks gorgeous, like out of the box. And actually seeing it in person for the first time, I really liked it. I honestly didn't care that it wasn't the original pinball machine's artwork. So there's another pro right there. Is that the artwork's beautiful. Everything feels a little more premium on this machine. versus when I go back and stand in front of the other one. Everything feels a little more premium, and it feels a little it feels a little bit more quality. Does that make sense? You got a larger machine, and it's heavier, it's bigger, and all the components work, and the user interface is fantastic. I love the new user interface. Yeah, sure, they kind of, were inspired by some other, well-known virtual VPX type user interfaces that we use for PCs and stuff. But if it works and if that community loves it, why not adopt it and do something similar, right? Like if people love it, why not make it similar, right? The user interface, I love it. I love it. And it's really cool like when you turn the machine on and you hear all the music, and no matter what game you're on, like the global leaderboards are flashing around on the back glass, letting you know like how well everyone's doing. And you hope that if you play, you'll end up on that. And everyone will see you on their screens and stuff like that. So that's great. Now I ordered the extra control panel, the joystick, buttons, and trackball. I haven't put that in yet. And I have the surround sound kit. I haven't put that in yet. I just put it together last night and I played it for like 30, 45 minutes. So yeah, I haven't put that in yet, buddy. I haven't put that in yet. The UI is fantastic. AtGames did a great job improving the user interface. I think it was very easy to find everything. So even if I was like brand new and never touched a virtual pinball machine before, I think being able to navigate their wheels to get to the games, to get to the settings, I think all that stuff people are going to be very, very happy with. They're using the same quality plunger, flipper buttons. Coin door is kind of cute. Um, I got pinball machine number 571. That was the number on my placard. So if AtGames has sold over 500 Adams Family units, good for them, man. Good for them. Like I didn't think they would sell 500 of them, and they're at mine was 571. So unless they're skipping numbers around, but so yeah, pretty cool, pretty cool. Let me show you a couple more interesting pictures here because the pictures help me with the thought process. When you want to compare it again in size to a real pinball machine, this gives you a good idea. It's about 6 to 8 inches shorter in length than a real pinball machine, and it's obviously not as wide as a real pinball machine. And and the only reason it's as tall is because of the topper. But don't let this picture fool you. This thing is still pretty big. It's pretty big. You're going to need the space in your house for it to stick this thing somewhere. And you're going to feel it when you open it up and put it together. And let's say you're trying to put it in a smaller spot. My initial impressions of the AtGames Legends Pinball Machine 4K after building it and playing around with it, I did all the updates. I assembled it, did all the updates, downloaded the firmware updates, and it said there was some software accessory updates or something. I did all that. Went through the navigation stuff. Okay. My initial impression, if you guys even care about my opinion, is this machine is awesome until you go to play pinball. And I know that sounds bad. And AtGames has been super defensive. They've been really trying to control the narrative on this thing with a lot of the content that they've been pushing and publishing and hiring people to make for them and stuff like that. And in my opinion, this machine was not ready to go when it comes to actually playing pinball. I will have to agree with everyone who says that the Adams Family game is the worst to play, but here's why. Is because of just the flipper delay. In my opinion, the actual ball animations, effects on the table, in my opinion, that stuff is running really, really well on Adams Family. In my opinion, the only issue with Adams Family was the flipper delay. It's really bad. And like literally you can like the pinball has to be like right above the slingshots, a little bit above the slingshots. And at that point is when you need to press the button in order to get everything to hit by the time the ball gets to the flipper. And like now I notice though, like because we have the global leaderboards, there's a lot of people who have made super, super high scores. And you might say, well, why is that, PDubs? Why is that? Well, what happens when you play virtual pinball? And a lot of us experience this with like the Toy Shock machine in the past, myself included, is that when you're playing virtual pinball, your brain will eventually adapt to whatever video game you're playing. You'll get the timing down, you'll get used to it. A lot of us got the Toy Shock pinball machine. There was flipper delay. It was really bad on some games and it was bad on others. Bad or really bad. It wasn't like it was good, bad, really bad. So a lot of players are probably just getting used to it, adapting to it, and they've been able to score very well. I myself couldn't even finish a game. It was so bad. I couldn't even finish a game. So, in my opinion, they need to dial that in more. It's not ready yet. Now, what's interesting is all the other games that are on this machine, and I don't care what anyone else tells you. I have video recorded footage of this because I tested it on both machines. The Zakaria games themselves don't have flipper delay, but there are some pretty bad performance issues. If you actually look at that pinball traveling north and south down the table, and keep in mind, guys, I did this last night. I didn't even get a chance to record it. So as that pinball is going north and south down the table, you are going to see a lot of frame skipping, a lot of stuttering, a lot of ghost effects on the ball. You're gonna feel like why does it look dizzy to me? Why does it look dizzy to me? Imagine that. I don't think it's running at 60 frames per second. I really don't. And these things are supposed to be running at 60 frames per second. It honestly feels like they're running at like 24 frames per second. But we'll do some measurements and verify it. And again, this is just my experience, but I have the same machine as everybody else. I'm on the same firmware as everybody else. There's no real flipper delay in the plungers and the accelerometers and the haptics. Oh my God, the solenoids and the haptics are awesome on this. Like I said, everything is great. This machine is fantastic until you go to play pinball. But that's why you buy it. Everything is well done. AtGames went above and beyond to make a more premium feeling virtual pinball machine, right? Like they went above and beyond, guys, like with all the, dedicated artwork, 3 screens, toppers, and also to keep it in a price point that's below $3,000. But the Zakaria games are suffering, all of them, from these same issues because I can turn those same games on. And when you hit the pinball and watch the pinball flying around the table, that pinball is it's not slowly, I'm sorry, smoothly moving around the table. And you look like you're watching, like a movie. It's nice and smooth and the ball effects and all that stuff. The ball animations on that machine back there. I then go and I play that same Zakaria Deluxe game on the Adams Family machine down there, and it's literally like it's choppy. The ball animations aren't smooth. It's stuttering, and because I wear glasses, because the ball is like flickering, it's not a steady motion, a steady movement on the ball. It makes me a little dizzy to stare at. So, in my opinion, that's what's going on with the Zakari games, and it makes them very hard to play. Now, you can play it that way, and a lot of people have. As I was navigating the games, I saw some huge scores by some people. So it might not bother some people, but keep in mind, this happens with virtual pinball. People adapt to whatever game they're playing. Like, for instance, I just did like a live stream showing Ultimate Slot Shots Pinball, just another virtual pinball game you could play on Steam. And sure enough, the timing of the flippers and the ball are different than when I play Pinball FX or Pinball M. First couple games, brain's like, what's going on here? Muscle memory's like, this doesn't feel right. And then all of a sudden you get used to it, right? And then you can adapt and overcome. It's the joy of being a human being with a brain. But in my opinion, those games aren't running at 60 frames per second. There's all kinds of issues with the ball animations. And Adam's Family, in my opinion, is running great. There's just flipper delay. So that's my... Now, can all this stuff be fixed? My apologies if I've been ignoring the live chat. I absolutely think a lot of this stuff can be fixed. It's just, what did I tell you guys all this time? I said, I really hope when AtGames releases this product that the day one firmware update doesn't have these kind of issues. You know what I mean? That it doesn't have these kind of issues. They've had a long enough time to make sure everyone has a great out-of-the-box experience. If I put myself in the position of, hey, man, I am a brand new customer to AtGames. I just bought this virtual pinball machine and I open it up, and I've never owned one of their products in the past. I don't know anything about the company. I just saw this really cool thing and I bought it on a whim. I think when they open it up and try to play the games, they're going to be like, this is horrible, or they're going to say this is bad just from the way the games play. That's my honest opinion, what someone with no experience would think. Versus, a lot of us, we're in this community. We know these AtGames products and stuff. We know, like, okay, apparently we're all going to be beta testers for a few months until they get this thing right. Now, when it comes to the flipper issues too with the Zen Studios, I will say this, and keep in mind, I'm not defending AtGames or making excuses for them or Zen Studios. I'm just speaking about history, and historically, every single time Zen Studios releases virtual pinball on any platform, this has always been the case day one. When it was just released on the Switch, it had flipper delay, it had lag, it wasn't running at full speed, there was ghosting effects, lost frame rate, bad stuff with Switch. Guess what, guys? Zen Studios fixed it. It's running great now on Switch. Same thing happened when they released it on Steam. Same thing happened when they released it on Epic. There's always these day one issues with Zen Studios. I don't know why. We should just expect it. But I'm hoping that they can dial it in more. How good can they get it? Well, I mean, all the games run really well now today on this machine. So as long as it runs as good as it does on that machine, I'll be okay with it. I'll be okay with it. So yeah, so exactly. Zen Studios Solus Beta FX, we paid for it. It ended up getting better over time. So yeah, in my opinion, this whole thing felt rushed because AtGames had to meet their deadlines. Remember, guys, they opened their mouths, inserted foot. They said, "Here's the machines, and if we don't ship it, you guys can cancel your orders and get your money back." And to avoid having to refund people and have an abundance of stock that they need to try to resell to somebody else, sounds to me, just in my opinion, that they had to get these machines out the door, and the community will grow with the growing pains of the machine. So those are my quick thoughts on it. Those are my quick thoughts on it. Again, that's just my first impressions. Take it however you want to mean it. I'm not being a hater. I'm just telling you that they need to fix this stuff and dial it in. Now, and can they? Absolutely, I think they can. If they've done it on this machine, they should be able to do it on the other one, right? So that's just my honest opinions and reactions to playing the machine for a short period of time. Obviously, I'm going to play the games a lot more, record footage. I'm going to show you how it compares the firmware today versus the firmware on that thing, the differences. I'll back up what I say, and all that kinds of stuff. I'll show the receipts. People love that word. I'll show the receipts. So there you go. I want them to do well because I got to tell you something, guys. This machine, in my opinion, is awesome. Oh wait, let's go full. Let's go here. This machine's awesome, in my opinion. Like, it's really freaking cool. And I like the size and the features on it a little bit more than my current pinball machine, although my current pinball machine's got a better DMD. But it's really cool. Like, it's really cool. And it was really impressive out of the box. But, like I said, everything is awesome until you go to play pinball. And that's not the way it should be. So, anyway, those are my thoughts. Let me get your reactions real quick here in the chat. They should hire Nostalgia back. Thanks so much. It's constructive criticism, and AtGames seems to fear that kind of constructive criticism. You know what I mean? Like, they want everyone to say it's awesome, and that they want there's like this narrative going around that the only table that's not working well is Adam's Family. And guys, that is 100% not true. Either I have a broken machine, or that is 100% not true, because those games the deluxe games are not running top-notch level on the Zakari deluxe games are not running the way they should. And I can show you side-by-side comparisons with that machine back there with what I'm experiencing. So, yeah. Yep. In my opinion, it got rushed. So there you go. Yep. Zen gets pressured. Exactly. There you go. So, yeah. Anyway. So this is interesting. This is very interesting. Do you know if it's going to have coin ops on it? So as of right now, today, coin ops X, App Store X, add-on X. Well, the App Store X is there. I'm sorry, but like coin ops X under App Store X, none of that's there. None of that's there. And keep in mind, supposedly they're still going to allow this. Otherwise, why would they let you connect your control panel with your joystick and your buttons and your trackball to their machine? You think they're going to release a bunch of licensed games that'll use those controls? And why they're pushing people to get the control panels for this machine? It's all about that whole general loader process, which unfortunately only a handful of people know how it's going to work. I have been kept out of the loop. I have no clue. So I'm waiting like all of you guys. Do I think AtGames is going to still let us bring our own games? Yes. I don't think they want to have that kind of riot on their hands from their community. But it'll be through a different process, not through coin ops, not through the way it's done today. It'll be through a different method. And if they don't allow it to happen, that's what the community's for. The community will make it happen. So I wouldn't stress too much about that. If you really want to play Pac-Man on this machine or like a vertical game, Burger Time or whatever, I think it's going to happen. There you go. Yep, no BYOG in the current firmware. That's correct. No BYOG in the current firmware. I got lucky. Some people, keep in mind, guys, this shit gets sent out FedEx and your boxes might get separated along the way. My surround sound feedback kit arrived on Friday, and then both boxes arrived Sunday for the pinball machine and the back glass. So I got all three boxes within 3 days of each other. So stuff might get separated along the way. I wouldn't panic if you get one box and not the other. I have a feeling that this could be the best product AtGames ever releases as of right now. This is a very, very good job what they've done here with this pinball machine. But they got to get the games running correctly. And until they get the games running correctly, I'm not going to give them that credit yet. So there you go. Yeah, FedEx was nice to me this time. Sometimes sometimes I get FedEx stuff and it's smashed. Sometimes it's in great condition. So there you go. All right. Anything else you guys have any questions on real quick? We have a little bit of time left because I started early. Do you guys have any questions or anything? I can answer those. A little Q&A before I get out of here for the night. Again, I got to go finish doing stuff for Labyrinth. Very excited about that interview. Hope you guys come out on Wednesday for that interview. And show those guys what an awesome community we have here. Because, they don't know about the home arcade community. They know about the pinball community, but they don't know about all of us. So let's show them we're awesome and that we like playing pinball at arcades. No one's trying to make you buy a machine. They're just trying to tell you, go check out this game at your local arcade. Well, we're waiting for questions to come in real quick. Just a reminder, escapepodonline.com. Use coupon code PDubs at checkout. Save yourself 10%. Get your orders in before Dan cancels the code because we're costing him too much money. Schubert with a $20 super chat. Thanks so much. Thanks for all the vids. I greatly, greatly appreciate it. No. So that's another thing is I pre-ordered all the 4K games and none of the games are ready to go. I don't have access to the Peanuts I paid for. I don't have access to Star Trek. I don't have access to all the Taito games, the Dr. Seuss games, all the 4K versions that I paid for. They're not available to play yet. It's just these games. So I don't have them. There you go. Can I come to your interview? Yeah. You want to be on the stream? If you want to be on the stream, Mike, we could probably figure something out. No, I didn't do the SSF kit yet. It's just 30 minutes to take it out of the box, screw the legs on. Once the legs are on, you mount the back box, connect like 4 or 5 cables. They're all color coded, which by the way, AtGames, that was awesome. Color coding the wires. It takes you seconds to connect the wires. You're like, oh, red to red, blue to blue. And then you put the topper on, turn the machine on and, let it, you got to go through the setup. You got to do the whole, log into your Legends account, log into your Wi-Fi or connect an Ethernet cable, download the firmware update. By the way, that firmware update on my Wi-Fi, and I got 1 gigabyte down. It took like, it's a 1.85 gigabyte firmware update. But for some reason on my Wi-Fi, this machine doesn't run it as fast. So like it's it took like 12 minutes. Just a heads up there. The day one firmware update. It took about 12 minutes to go through. It wasn't a quick process. There you go. Let's see here. Thanks for the great show. Well, thanks for tuning in, man. I mean, that's just my initial feedback. I have hope it'll be fantastic. Am I keeping my original? Yes, I am going to keep my original. I've spent too much money on this thing, and I love this thing. And as of right now, this thing is way better than the new one downstairs. And until AtGames can optimize the one downstairs and show me that the included games run great. Keep in mind, I haven't even had a chance to try OTG mode yet. I hear rumor from people out there, you guys let me know in the live chat, that the OTG mode runs really, really well. And OTG mode is when you connect your PC that's got Future Pinball or Visual Pinball, Virtual VPX, that you can play your own games and it runs great, like the controls and all that stuff. So I've heard positive things about it. I just have, guys, I got it late last night. I haven't had a chance to test it yet, but I will. Muller Medic with $5. Do the Atari tables work on a VPin cap? Nope. There's no cabinet mode for those Atari games that I could see. So those Atari virtual pinball games are just like, played on your console or your television. Nope. I haven't done OTG yet, my friend. Haven't done OTG yet. So there you go. Anyway, so interesting enough, Mike is also going to do a show talking about the AtGames Legends Pinball right after me. We didn't plan this. Keep in mind, if I didn't receive my machine last night, I wouldn't have talked about it today. But I also wanted to talk about Labyrinth and Atari, so like it's a whole pinball episode for me. But Mike actually is going to have, I think, AtGames employees on his show, which will be great to ask them these questions directly and get their feedback on what is the community reporting to them and what are they doing to make this a great experience for everybody. Especially for the price they're charging, $1,500. Anyway, guys, head on over to Mike's channel. I didn't have a redirect set up. If you enjoyed this broadcast, do me a favor, give me that thumbs up before you head out that door. That thumbs up helps me so much. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. And remember, it's Monday. Go play your multicades, guys. I'll talk to you guys real soon. I gotta go get stuff ready. I have so much content to get out this week. Talk to you guys real soon. You guys take care.